Do you know your body fat percentage? Take a guess.
I'm gonna guess 21.
17.
15?
Most people don't know their body fat percentage. Some people think they're way leaner than they are.
Ooh, that was a little bit harder than I thought.
Others are harder on themselves than they should be and find out they're closer to their goals than they realize.
Hell yeah.
And if you look up what different body fat percentages look like online, you won't find much help because if the numbers aren't completely made up, they're taken from less accurate measurements like calipers or handheld devices. And that confusion matters because your body fat percentage not only shapes how you look, it can also impact your health, sleep, performance, and how you feel about yourself. So in this video, I'm gonna take you through the full range from 50% body fat all the way down to 5% using real-life people that I measured myself. We'll not only see what each level looks like, but we'll also hear about what it feels like to live at each level. I'll also show you where the average male and female lands. So as we go, try to figure out where you fall and where you'd like to be, depending on your own goals, whether that's strength, health, or physique. This is Joe. He's a 36-year-old dad, and before I show you his exact body fat percentage, this is what his life is like day to day.
I had low testosterone. Like my free testosterone was like 90. It kind of like made sense of like my lack of motivation, my lack of ambition.
On bioelectrical impedance, or BIA, Joe came in at 50.7% body fat, and on DEXA, he was 45.3%. So your body fat percentage was 45.3.
No way.
That's lower than you thought.
That's actually,
Let's go.
yeah. I mean, it's bad, but like.
He said he wants to get that down to 25% by the end of the year, and I'm gonna help keep him accountable with that. So you need to be around 100 kilos. So that's about 220 pounds. If you want some accountability, we're here.
Yeah.
We can get you back in a year from now and see where you're at. Okay, and this is Alexis. She's a 19-year-old university student, and she said that day to day, she feels pretty good. What's your energy like in the gym? Like, do you feel good?
In the gym, honestly, yeah. I love going to the gym.
Alexis measured at 47.2% on BIA and 48.2% on DEXA. And she told me that while she feels fine and doesn't struggle much in terms of day-to-day activities, for her long-term health, she does want to get down to a lower but still sustainable body fat percentage.
I want to go back to where I was like comfortable and confident like every single day leaving the house. I spent my first year at university and it was not a good time. I was eating a lot. I feel like my body has changed so much over the last year. Like I almost don't recognize myself. That's probably the like toughest thing.
Not everyone at this level had the same goal though. This is Daniel, and he had one of the coolest motivations for losing weight that I've ever heard.
I want to skydive.
You want to skydive?
Yeah, I want to do.
Okay, that's a new one. I have not heard that before. The weight limit for skydiving is 220 to 240 pounds. So over the next year, I'm gonna help him get there. Let's give you like a year and 2 or 3 months, all right?
Okay.
You're gonna come back here, get on the DEXA scan,
Okay.
and then you're gonna book your skydiving, all right? I'm not doing it with you though.
Really?
Yeah, I'm scared of heights. I will film you though. For long-term weight loss, I think having a purpose that speaks to you is crucial, especially if you want to lose a lot of weight, which can feel overwhelming. You need to have a good reason for why you want to do it. What is fueling this for you?
Like I've got 2 children. Like I've got a 5-year-old and 8-year-old. My boy's 5, and like his sole purpose is to like beat me up. That's like straight up it. He wants to be stronger than me. He wants to beat me up.
And you just can't let him do that.
Exactly. And for as long as possible.
Okay, that's
So-
cool.
I like that. Just beat up your son.
Yeah.
And because weight loss often takes longer than people realize, a lot of people do struggle with staying motivated. A lot of people want to find motivation. And the thing is, like, it comes and goes, right? And the key to be able to run on that is to get the habit set up. So it's just like brushing your teeth, right? Like it becomes something you do. You build that trust in yourself over time that you're gonna actually execute on those habits. While speaking with people at this level, I realized that even simple day-to-day activities can be a struggle.
I'm always tired. Like I'm not like I want to sleep all day, but like I'm always fatigued.
This is the heaviest I've ever been. It always feels like a battle. Like I'd lose weight and then I would like gain it back and then some.
To put on your shoes is like, it's just uncomfortable. I never really care so much about my appearance, just about the things I can do if I was not as big.
And what I found most interesting was that they assumed that if they could just get down to the leanest level, like single digits body fat, their exhaustion, energy crashes, and trouble sleeping would all go away.
I'm pretty sure I would feel a lot better like this, right?
But interestingly, as we'll see, if you go too far in the other direction, these exact same issues come back around again. In fact, if you get super lean, it can get really bad.
I know my body is tired and I just can't get to sleep. And when you're that lean, it's like the wind blows and you're awake and you're not getting back to sleep.
And a little later, I'll show you just how bad things can get at the very leanest level. Because, unfortunately, an incident occurred between two subjects after filming that might have had something to do with mood changes that can come with extreme levels of leanness.
Okay, well, are we gonna have a problem then?
First, before we see what 40% looks like, I want you to take a guess at what body fat percentage the average man is and what body fat percentage the average woman is in the United States. No cheating by skipping ahead. I'll show you that a little later, so lock your guesses in. What body fat percentage the average man and the average woman in the US? Okay, this is Himanish, and he measured in at 40.7% body fat on BIA and 37.2% on DEXA. And keep in mind, these numbers are very accurate. DEXA is often considered the reference standard for body composition in exercise science research and in clinical practice. It's very precise, and a 2020 review suggested that DEXA and MRI are actually comparably accurate for measuring body fat. And when combined with BIA, what I'm going to show you has tighter control and higher precision than most published exercise science studies, and it's going to be way more reliable than the online body fat charts that are out there, which use way less accurate tools and sometimes pure eyeballing, which can be way off, especially if there are differences in lighting. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what each level looks like under the exact same lighting. Okay, so compared to 50%, you can see that at 40%, the waistline is down, the overall physique is leaner, but overall, body fat distribution is still similar. And this is Katie. She's a nurse who just became a personal trainer herself, and she measured in at 37.6% on DEXA and 40.3% on BIA. 40% body fat on women can look very different from person to person, depending on how much muscle they have and their individual body shape. And if we compare a male at 40% to a female at 40%, you can see that the female looks relatively leaner. That's because women store about 10 to 12% more essential fat than men, so 40% on a woman is visually more like 28 to 30% on a man. Men also tend to store more body fat around their stomach, lower back, and neck, while women tend to store more body fat around their hips and thighs. This is in part because estrogen promotes fat storage in the lower body, while testosterone promotes more visceral fat storage around the organs and midsection. That's a trend that'll continue at every body fat level. At 40%, how you feel day to day varies a lot from person to person too. Katie said that overall, she feels pretty good, has high energy, and her strength is solid, while Matthew, who came in at 43.8%, said that he does struggle with sleeping, and even some simple tasks like putting on his shoes can be difficult.
I definitely feel it with sleep and stuff like that. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I know why I have sleep apnea. If I fall asleep on my back, I'm gonna wake myself up snoring. Being conscious of what shoes I wear if I'm going somewhere where I might have to take my shoes off. Sometimes it's difficult to just pop my shoes on, because I'm heavier.
At 40% body fat, men typically have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease and metabolic issues. But for women, the risk isn't as elevated. In both cases, though, exercising and eating a healthy diet can do a lot more than you'd think. Even if weight loss isn't occurring right away, research shows that exercise can still significantly improve your health, strength, and mental well-being. And if earlier you guessed that the average body fat percentage for an American woman is around 40%, you'd be pretty much right. Based on 2017 to 2018 NHANES data, the average American woman is about 39% body fat. Okay, now we're down to 30% body fat, and this is where things really start to change. This is Septarshi, and he was 30.1% on BIA and 33.3% on DEXA.
Your total body fat percentage is 33%.
Okay.
All right, but keep in mind, 30% can look quite different depending on your structure and how much muscle you have. Septarshi measured in at 33.3%, and Greg measured in at 32.5% on the DEXA, so almost exactly the same. But Septarshi had 97 pounds of lean mass, and Greg had 150 pounds of lean mass. At this level, how much muscle you carry can have a big impact on how you look.
You guys are the same body fat percentage. You had very different reactions. I feel like you were really disappointed and you were not.
30% is what some people would call the dad bod look. Assuming you lift weights, you should see some visible muscle outline in your arms and legs, but you're not quite lean enough to see a whole lot of detail or separation. But assuming you sleep well, eat healthy, and exercise, your energy levels should be pretty solid, and your performance in the gym should be good too.
I almost like the way I look a little bit with the fat on.
Yeah, hey.
It gives me the size, right?
I actually like that look too.
But if you don't have those healthy lifestyle habits, 30% can definitely feel uncomfortable. And for men, 30% is still above what most health organizations would consider optimal for long-term health. And if earlier you guessed that the average American male was 30% body fat, you'd be pretty close. Based on 2017 to 2018 data, the average American male is about 27% body fat. So if you're a man with 30% body fat, you'd land right here. About 40% of men have a body fat percentage higher than you, and about 60% of men have a body fat percentage at or below you. So if you're at this level and you'd like a smart nutrition app that can coach you to a leaner physique, try out MacroFactor. I'm a part owner, we've got over 400,000 users, and I'll put a link to a 2-week free trial in the description box below. Okay, so this is what 30% body fat looks like on a male, and this is what 30% body fat looks like on a female. This is Brecken, and she measured at 28.4% body fat on DEXA and 28.2% body fat on BIA. So just a little under 30%. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, this is a healthy and sustainable body composition for a lot of women.
Your body fat percentage, 28.0.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so you're obviously squarely within the healthy range.
Yeah.
Once you account for female essential fat, 30% on a woman is about the same as 20% on a man. Here, energy levels and performance in the gym tend to be great.
I feel like I wake up with a lot of energy, especially compared to my partner who I live with.
And 30% on a woman is leaner than most people realize.
I just feel like we hear 15, 10, like we hear such low numbers all the time. I think someone would look at you and be like, oh, you look amazing. But they wouldn't think like 28%.
The pictures on Google too, they're so different. I'm like,
Right?
it shows 30% and I'm like, that is not anything that I
Agree. Exactly. That's why I want to do this, to give people like an updated standard.
In the USA, if you're 30% body fat as a female, suddenly only about 10% of women are leaner than you, and about 90% of women have a higher body fat. All right, we're just past the halfway point on our journey from 50% all the way down to 5% body fat. And here, at 20%, we're really starting to lean out. Based on my time on the internet, most people seem to think that a male at 20% body fat looks something like this. But it actually looks like this. This is Jay, and he came in at 20.8% body fat on DEXA and 18.6% on BIA. So yeah, really close to 20%. And you'll notice once again that even at the same body fat percentage, your look can vary quite a bit depending on your bone structure and muscle mass. Nicholas came in at 19% on DEXA, but because he's shorter and he carries more muscle, his 20% looks quite a bit different from Jay's 20%. And I'm shorter than both of them, and 20% on me looked like this. Last year, I bulked up to 20.6% body fat, and this was my physique. You see, just because you're 20% doesn't mean you're gonna look or feel like someone else at 20%. We all have different genetic set ranges where our bodies are most comfortable. 20% body fat for me actually feels too high. I felt sluggish and bloated. For me, my body's a lot more comfortable and performs better in the 10 to 15 zone. But that comfortable set range is highly genetic, and it's a little different for everyone. For some men, it's a bit higher, let's say 20 to 25%. If they try to get below 20%, they start to feel hungry, depleted, and low energy. In that case, I think maintaining a slightly higher level at around 20% is actually smart, so you avoid constant yo-yo dieting. Assuming you lift weights at 20% body fat, your arms and shoulders will have some noticeable definition. And under good lighting, you should even see the outline of your abs when you flex them. For men, research shows that this can be a sustainable and healthy body composition to maintain. For most people, energy levels and performance in the gym should be really solid. And if you're 20% body fat, you're probably leaner than you think. Only about 12% of men are leaner than this in the US. So if you get to 20% body fat, you're actually in a very small group. And for women, this is what 20% body fat looks like. This is Christina, who's been training consistently for over 10 years, and she measured at 21.4% on DEXA, 17.5% on BIA. Here, you can definitely see visible muscle shape and more definition through the midsection. For some, this level of body fat will be lower than where your body is comfortable. For others, this can be healthy and sustainable.
You are
Uh-huh.
18.3% body fat.
Stop it.
But given that 20% is where a lot of pro-female athletes sit, I was a little surprised to see that some women still thought 20% was a bit too high.
No, like I
Yeah,
I want to look cut. Like I want to look like, oh my God, like she's jacked.
Yes, you do. You actually do. I don't know if you know that or not.
Remember, 20% on a female is closer to 10% on a male. And here's the thing, if you're a woman, you have 20% body fat in the US, less than 1% of the female population is leaner than you. Actually, only about 2% of women in the United States have a body fat percentage under 25. So unless you're genetically very lean or you want to maintain a certain level of leanness for your sport, this is about as lean as most women can realistically sustain and hold while still feeling healthy and performing optimally. All right, next stop. Now we're down to 15% body fat. And this is where things get interesting. This is my friend Shamar, who's lost 25 pounds since the last time I saw him, and he came in at 15.3% on DEXA, 15.4% on BIA. At this level, you can see clear muscle separation, even some vascularity, especially in the biceps and forearms. Your abs will be clearly visible, even under average lighting, but I still wouldn't call this extreme leanness. I actually think most men should be able to maintain this level of leanness year-round as long as you train hard and you pay attention to your diet. It'll take some discipline, but it's realistic. That said, if you have a genetically higher body fat set range, you may notice hunger creeping in at around this level. So if you're trying to maintain 15% body fat, you will need to pay attention to your food environment. If there are a lot of processed, delicious foods around the house, you'll probably quickly snack your way up to 20%. Your gym performance and strength should be really good at this level, and most people shouldn't have to suffer too much to get there. But you might be surprised. If you're coming from a higher level of body fat, hitting 15% might take some serious dedication.
15.6.
15.6, man, okay.
I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
the DEXA is the ego killer.
Yeah, I'm doing more than the average bear to be low body fat, so.
But let me ask you, are you happy with your physique?
Yes, overall I'm happy with it. Made a lot of progress.
And your performance?
Yep, yeah, no, I feel fine. And
Well, then that's enough, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Still, if you have more muscle mass and you're genetically leaner, you might be able to cruise down to 15% without much struggle at all.
I feel way better.
Yeah.
I'm 25 pounds down.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, I'm too. My pounds are better. My vascularity's better.
Here's what I think. I think it's because you've taken your time.
Yeah.
You crash
Very
diet.
slow.
You're still training super hard.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
You know, so when you get rid of the fat surrounding you, you actually look bigger.
I look bigger.
You do look bigger.
No, you look bigger.
Yeah.
It feels like I look bigger.
I know. Yeah, that happens.
Regardless, 15% is leaner than you think. Only about 2% of American men are below this level of body fat. And for women, 15% looks like this. Meet Vanessa. She's currently training for a High Rocks competition, which is a hybrid event that combines running and various exercise stations. And she came in at 15.7% body fat on DEXA, 14.8% on BIA. And like I said, since women need about 10 to 12% body fat just for basic survival needs, this level of leanness is typically only seen in serious athletes preparing for a specific event. For a lot of women, this is where things can start to take a negative turn, especially if you're sustaining this level of leanness for a long period of time. Your hunger hormones can increase, energy can drop off, and you may lose your menstrual cycle. Staying this lean for years can also cause bone mineral loss and gut issues.
How's your hormonal health? It's sensitive. I don't want to put extra stress on my system.
Okay.
Otherwise, my period will get kind of wonky or like my sleep will get kind of messed up.
That said, there definitely is a fraction of women who seem to do fine at this level without any major issues. Still, for most women, 15% will be low, and sitting closer to 20% is going to feel healthier and more sustainable for long-term health. And I don't know, I think this is cool. Two of these people are the exact same body fat percentage, which goes to show that just because you have the same number as someone else doesn't necessarily mean you're going to look like them.
I saw a YouTube personality, the weight that she was aiming for, said that was sustainable for her was way too light compared to me. But because we were the same height and like had similar goals, I like pointed to her and was like, that's what I should do. But it wasn't sustainable or safe for me to do that.
Even if you're the same height, weight, and body fat percentage, you can still have drastically different metabolisms from someone else.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone truly is their own unique person, and you have to figure out what goal makes most sense for you.
Yeah. And what's most sustainable.
Exactly.
Okay, at this point, we've gone from 50% body fat all the way down to 12%. This is Jimmy, and he came in at 12.1% on DEXA, 13.8% on BIA. And as you can see, this is a very, very fit look. At this level, most men will have a fully defined six-pack with just a little fat covering the lower abdominals and a little fat left on the lower back. But at 12%, you should be lean enough to see some visible striations, especially when you flex under good lighting.
I want people to appreciate, like, this is a true 12% physique.
For most men, your performance will still be solid in the gym, but to be honest, Most men won't be able to maintain this level of leanness without some serious discipline. You'll most likely need to track your calories or follow a meal plan. Most men won't just sit here without some active dietary restriction. Some men will be able to maintain 12%, no problem. But for most men, this is about as low as you can go without feeling like you're constantly dieting. 12% body fat is lean, much leaner than people realize. In fact, a recent data report of over 9,000 American men revealed just how many people are actually below 12% body fat.
How many out of the 9,000 do you think were under 12% body fat?
200. Maybe 500.
500?
500. 9,000 people, 400 people.
One person.
What? One?
One person.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
crazy? So it goes to show like how lean that really is when you compare it to the general population, right?
For women, 12% is virtually unheard of outside of bodybuilding stages. At this level, you're just about down to only having essential body fat left. Performance-enhancing drugs are often needed to get this lean, and even then, strength and energy in the gym will almost always take a hit. Chances are you'll be constantly thinking about food. Just ask Alicia here.
I crave a lot of chocolate. A lot of chocolate. Like, I thought I was buying like a small bag of like chocolate chips, but then I ordered like a really large bag.
Okay.
And I like craving them, and I was just like handful and like ate them, and I'm like, I don't even know why I did that.
You are like me. That has literally been me the last week with chocolate chips on oatmeal.
She's a pro bodybuilder hoping to get back on stage soon, and she came in at 12.2% body fat on DEXA, 14.7 on BIA.
So I'm just kind of like go all day. But then when I get home and I'm finally like, then I'm like, oh my God, I'm hungry. I could eat the world. Like, I want to eat everything.
Okay, on our journey from 50%, we've got a couple levels of leanness left to go, and it gets pretty intense. For men at around 10% body fat, I've got 3 different examples. Nicholas came in at 10.5%, Ali at 9.0%, and my latest DEXA also came back at 9.0% body fat. At this level, your abs will be clearly defined, and you should have visible separation in all the heads of any given muscle. In all 3 of us, you can see a clear outline of the different heads of the triceps and noticeable striations through our chest and shoulders. At 9 or 10%, your midsection will be pretty ripped, and there shouldn't be any noticeable pouches of fat anywhere on your back or legs. Here I am at 9%, and you can see clear separation between all the heads of my quads and feathering in my back and hamstrings. 9% is very lean. I was even surprised that Ollie clocked in at 9% because his arms look so shredded and vascular, I honestly expected him to be closer to 7 or 8%. But that's the thing, 9 to 10% is leaner than people think. The fitness community has said for years that
10 to 12, 10
is the healthy, not too lean sweet spot that men should aim for.
You can get all the definition that you want and still have performance capabilities without sacrificing quality of your life.
But I'm not sure that's true. Getting down to or just below 10% body fat usually requires a lot more sacrifice than many people are willing to make. And for the vast majority of men, 10% probably simply won't be sustainable without some serious dietary restriction and highly disciplined training. I do this as a career. I think I'm genetically leaner than most people, and getting to 10% was harder than I expected. But genetics are huge, and some people can maintain 10% body fat without any major issues, for sure.
How do you feel day to day?
Great, honestly. Like this would probably be my like my default.
Really, the fact that you are performing well, you're feeling good, your energy is good at that percentage. Okay, this is good, healthy percentage for you, right?
This is the power of genetics, but that's the thing. I think most guys who actually do get to or just below 10% are usually genetically leaner, and so they can hold it a lot more easily. Then those guys make the suggestion that that's the sustainable sweet spot, not realizing that most people will have to struggle to get there, and for them, it may not be worth it. So unless you have really good genetics, you most likely won't just end up at 10% body fat. It's certainly an achievable goal, but for most people, it will be a challenge, and it will require some serious dietary structure. Oh, and for women, most research cites 10% body fat as the leanest level biologically possible, so I do not recommend getting to this level unless you're doing it for a short-term competitive purpose, ideally under the supervision of a coach or a medical professional. But I did manage to find a couple examples. AJ is a professional bikini competitor, and her DEXA scan came back at...
Whoa! I have never seen this in my life.
What is
9.9. But this level of body fat doesn't come without serious side effects.
It feels terrible. It's so bad.
If I brush my hair, a lot of hair comes out. I haven't had a period in quite a long time. My last period might have been May. I know it's going to take a while to get it back.
Gia is also a national level competitor, and she came back even leaner, 9.1% body fat. Absolutely mind-blowing. But again, this is a very short-term thing that I wouldn't recommend outside of very serious competitive contexts.
3 weeks ago, I started to notice like a significant dip in my energy levels to the point where I would stand up and I'd be like, whoa. And just like walking up the stairs or just walking, because like it felt like such a chore.
Yeah.
And food cravings at this level are usually absolutely out of control.
I went out for sushi. I think I had like 4 or 5 rolls of sushi and Five Guys plus fries. Plus eat that entire day, your body is metabolizing it so quickly. But the more you eat, the more your body wants food, so.
Given the extreme health risks of going any lower, this is the leanest level I'll be showing for women, but there's still 2 levels left for men. And the last level gets pretty wild. Okay, 8% body fat is what I would consider shredded. This is Luke. He's a professional natural physique competitor 2 weeks out from his competition. And his body fat came back at 8.4% on DEXA, 9.5% on BIA. At this level of leanness, you'll have clear, deep striations in almost all your muscle groups. Usually the only muscle not fully striated at 8% body fat is your glutes. And that may sound awesome, and you do look super ripped, but if you are willing to make the sacrifices necessary to get here, you're still gonna have to deal with some side effects. Your testosterone usually starts to drop off simply because your body is sending every signal to just go find some food. No time for reproduction, you need to eat. No time for sleep, you need to eat. You might be thinking about food all day and night.
If you could have one cheat meal right now, what would it be?
Sushi.
I didn't even have to think.
Now, while there may be a few extreme genetic outliers who can get here without any serious discomfort, the vast majority of men will only be able to sustain this level of leanness for a short period of time.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can you start reciting that backwards for me, starting at G?
Dude, I couldn't do that even if I wanted.
But do you find that you have like brain fog, like you can't always get the words you want and that kind of thing?
Big time.
Yeah.
I'm running in like slow motion at all times. The littlest of things can annoy me and agitate me so much.
If you want to get to 8% body fat for a photo shoot or a competition, I do think there is a relatively healthier way to do it as a male. Eat high protein, don't diet too quickly, prioritize nutrient-dense whole foods, and try to keep your cool. But it can get tricky after the diet is over. That's because your body is constantly screaming at you to eat more, and so a lot of men will quickly rebound in weight, oftentimes shooting over where they were before they even started. That's why I don't usually recommend getting to single-digit body fat unless you have a really good reason for it and a solid plan for after the diet is over. But there's still 1 level left to go.
People don't realize to get to 5%, that's like a next level kind of dieting.
I personally think it's impossible for most men without enhancement. It's very hard because it drives the muscle up, and so you get the percentage down.
Okay, so we started at 50%, and now we're all the way down to 5% body fat. This is Lachlan, and he's 3 weeks out from a classic physique competition, and he came in at 5.5% on DEXA and 3.1% on BIA.
5.5. Ooh. Shredded, man. I told you. That's awesome.
This is an extreme, borderline dangerous level of leanness, and it generally only makes sense in the context of bodybuilding contest prep. At this level, you'll have dense, grainy muscle separation, and honestly, it's very, very difficult to achieve without anabolic assistance, simply because as you naturally cut down below 6, 7, or 8%, your body starts to eat away at your muscle. No matter what you do, the side effects to get this lean are gonna be rough. Your body's gonna be sending you every possible signal to please go eat, all hours of day and night. And it's interesting, because the fitness industry praises leanness so much, a lot of people think the leaner you get, the healthier you get. But that isn't true.
The body fat that I'm at right now is not attainable long-term. The little tasks in life become the most challenging. Getting out of your car to walk into work, it's like you gotta sit there and think, oh shit, I gotta go do this.
You know what the irony is? We both go through the same problems, but we both have different goals and journeys in life.
And this is where it gets crazy, because I do think this level of leanness, especially combined with certain special supplements, can cause people to act in ways they no longer recognize. After filming this video, Lachlan ran into Ollie, our 9% subject, at the gym and acted completely out of line.
Studio is for posing and for other stuff, not to be on a phone call. Why can't you go down there? You don't need the lighting for this. Go somewhere else. This is the posing room.
This is not, dude. The posing is downstairs. I'm not trying to be a bitch.
Skinny before I snap. Okay, so what?
Can you talk to me like a brother?
No, you're not my brother, dude.
Why are you being so?
This isn't a live streaming spot, dude. If you want to go do that, you can do that outside. You can do that over there. I need the lighting to pose.
The incident ended up going viral on social media, and to be honest, my initial reaction was to think it was staged. What are the chances that two subjects from this video just happen to run into each other and get in an altercation the very next week? So after the incident, I wanted to give them both a call to make sure everything was all right and to get their thoughts on why this happened.
What would I say to him? Well, I would apologize and tell him that I apologize for the way I handled things, because I do take responsibility. That was not who I am. I reacted out of emotion and not logic. And that happens to people sometimes. It happened to me. I feel bad. I'll learn from it. I'll grow from it. That's how I roll. Okay.
First of all, I didn't expect the video to do it the way it did. I don't feel so good about it because he's getting a lot of hate.
Ali had a good attitude about the situation too, reiterating that it's never okay to body shame someone, and we want the gym to be a place where everyone feels safe and welcome, no matter their shape or their size.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Jeff, is like I've never had any sort of experience with feeling any different while using that sort of supplementation. But it's almost like this video made me think like, oh man, maybe I did roid rage. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if roid rage is like a real thing or not. Like I haven't seen much in the way of like actual science about it, but anecdotally, like you do tend to see that like the higher dosage guys, like they do tend to let their temper get the best of them more often, but it seems to be very individual. I mean, I agree with you. Like it's not an excuse, and it should be like that type of behavior is not acceptable for sure, obviously. But I think like it's a contributing factor, you know, like it is a contributing factor. Okay, so with all of this in mind, if you want the best combination of health, performance, and aesthetics, what's the ideal body fat percentage for you? Well, I know I detailed a lot of different body fat percentages in this video, but honestly, the precise number doesn't matter as much as you think. That said, for most women, 20 to 30% is usually the sweet spot. But genetic differences are huge, so if you fall outside that range, it doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically unhealthy. Not at all. In fact, the American College of Sports Medicine recommends 20 to 32% as the optimal, healthy range for women. Going a bit higher or a bit lower isn't game over. For men, the ACSM cites 10 to 22% as the healthy range. I think 10 to 20% is the sweet spot though. If your main goal is lean aesthetics, aim for the lower end of that range, so 10 to 15%. If your main goal is maximum strength performance, the upper end of that range might be a bit better, so 15 to 20%. And since the body fat charts currently online really aren't the best, here's one that I put together using the real-life subjects in this video if you want a screenshot. But honestly, if you're trying to get healthier, I think rather than fixating on a specific body fat percentage, you should focus on how you're moving, how you're training, how you're eating, and how you're feeling. What matters isn't the perfect percentage. It's finding a range where you can live a healthy and balanced life. Body fat percentage is just one piece of the puzzle. It doesn't define your worth, and it doesn't tell the whole story of your health. The real goal is to find a balance that makes you feel strong, healthy, and confident. And like I mentioned earlier, so much of finding that healthy, sustainable body fat level comes down to your nutrition. So if you're looking to get your diet in check, I recommend using my nutrition app, MacroFactor. It isn't just a calorie tracker, it actually coaches you to your goal using science-based algorithms and weekly check-ins. And unlike most diet apps, it's actually very approachable. We don't punish you if you miss a day here or there, and we won't send you stressful alerts or guilt trip you about eating so-called bad foods. We even have a dynamic maintenance mode, which you can switch to as soon as you hit your goal weight to make sure that you maintain your weight once the cut is over. Or you could switch to a lean bulk if you'd rather start gaining. Either way, just use code Jeff when you download on the App Store or Google Play, and that'll get you 2 weeks for free. All right, that's it for this one, guys. Shout out to everyone who participated in this video. DEXA scans are really time consuming. Everybody has to come in fasted. It's a whole lot of work, and I really appreciate all of you guys for coming out to the lab and helping with this video. It really means a lot. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all here in the next one.